Identity is honestly the premise of everything. And I'm sure it's a huge component of like your shift even in your business, as you went from knowing a lot, like a PhD, right? Like I know a lot, I serve a lot, but now the knowing, the like wokeness of having an encounter with Jesus changes everything that you think you know. It's like a deep sense of knowing. And we have guests on with us right now who are chatting live, talking about understanding and how do you actually learn to be fathered by God the Father. And another one who says that her mom was a nurse and gave a book and sent her to a doctor to learn about sex. Okay, noted. Wow. Parent note, right? Parent note. I'm like, yes, that's a good one, because honestly, even when I was in sex ed in 5th grade, which I found out that they're now teaching sex ed to like 2nd graders, which is just
that's kind of
insane.
Right.
It's exposure. Talk about exposure. I just think that the identity is really what we need to be speaking to, even beyond sex ed, because if you know who you are and you know how honored you are and how beautiful you are and how impossibly pure you actually are, you would not even consider some of the alternatives that have been exposed to us in pop culture.
Okay, listen. I would take it all back, okay?
Yes, please. But it also makes us more empathetic. It makes me way more alert to what is happening, even in the conversations around social media and what my kids can and can't watch. If I didn't have the experiences that I had when it came to things like that, and it's not even just sex. I want people to know that it's like language. It's, you know, it's laughter. Yeah, it's just constant. The music, the subculture things that seem normal, it's just not okay. And so I'm grateful for that empathetic lens. And I'm grateful for, I'll use the word again, wokeness. And I'm curious, when you shifted, how did it affect your like client experience or your business experience? How did you operate differently?
Oh my gosh. So are you ready for this?
Yeah, let's go.
I was in the therapy room. So, my PhD is in organizational leadership, and I was using that by working with organizations and helping to build strategic systems, doing implementation, doing all of those things. And I was still providing one-on-one therapy as a marriage and family therapist. When I changed, I moved outside of the therapy room. What I found was that I became so restricted by my license that I needed to move outside of that space for a while. And the Lord hasn't allowed me to go back yet. Now, I still have my therapy brain. It still shows up in everything I do. I always say I have my therapy brain, my spiritual brain, my organizational brain. They all come together to flourish. And so it's so interesting because I started to realize that I could not minister in the way that I desired, right? I could not, pray in the way that I desired. I could not deliver in the way that I desired because I was restricted by a set of rules, right? That I had worked hard for, right? And I still love them, but I just had to move outside of that space. So my wokeness caused me to actually shift in career path, right? So I couldn't do as much one-on-one therapy anymore. And I moved more to, that organizational space where I could still, just kind of be myself. And I moved more into the coaching space.
Yeah, completely.
Not too many regulations over there, okay? Well, no one can sue me.
Watch out. By the way, BTW, watch out. Because everyone wants to be a coach or is a coach now. And I think there's nothing wrong with that, but it's the knowing of where does that coaching come from, and to have the background like you do and the Holy Spirit like you do. I mean, it breaks chains before someone walks into the room because the Holy Spirit is present, right? So you're like, come on in here. I got something for you.
Absolutely. When you fill out the form before you show up to a session with me, before you show up to the coaching program, I have already petitioned to heaven. I know what's going on with you. I know what we're going to target. The Lord has already spoken.